Namaste, angels. Not sorry that I am late. Had a bunch of stuff going on, but also it seems that my microphone is not working. So I'll be doing this video without my microphone, and hopefully you can hear me without any difficulties. I'm going to try to get through it. Obviously, it's Mercury retrograde, right? I'm a Gemini, so we tend to be among the most affected by Mercury's retrograde. And one of the things is Mercury is the ruler of communications. So one of the things that happens is you'll find devices ceasing to work. It could happen to anybody. You don't have to be a Gemini, but it certainly happens to us. That said, let's get into this week's reading, beginning with the Four of Swords, which can be a card of needing a break, whether that is a forced break, like you could become ill and need to recover, hurt, God forbid. I mean, it's a possibility. It's something that I'm seeing, that I'm getting right now. The three swords often stand out to me because this is associated with some sort of pain, separation, loss, disappointment. Could even be like surgery or something. Sometimes the swords themselves will remind me of surgery, and the cuts, maybe more than one surgery to heal something or to fix something, and the person is like on the mend. And then we see this other sword, the last of the four swords, here in this gold inlay, waiting for when he's recovered. That's his ace of swords. That's his new start. For relationships, it can be one partner asking the other for a break. My ex and I used to argue every Mercury retrograde. There would be something like all of a sudden we were on the outs, and then I'd have to look at the planetary calendar and oh, okay, this is why. So we know to tread lightly, or to think before we speak, and all that kind of stuff. So it could be that. Could be in somebody's job. You are in need of a vacation, or for some reason your job could close temporarily, or for whatever reason you are unable to access it. You can't go there, and so that would be another reason for the break or pause. But it's a card of recovery. Somebody could just need some extra sleep, like you haven't been sleeping, perhaps because of some sort of painful event, anxiety that's been keeping you up. Others of us maybe just working super hard, and we need a good night's rest. With the Hermit in reverse being the next card behind it, this can also be about like needing to sleep on it. The Hermit is about enlightenment, spirituality, sometimes coming to understand ourselves deeper, if not another party, really thinking something through. And you see now the light is like shining down here when he's upright. He's looking, right? He looks like he's looking down at the ground, like, I got to find it, seeking the enlightenment. And now it's right here by his head. It's like the light bulb went off. So he's figured something out. The Hermit most directly correlates to the sign of Virgo, which is another sign, of course, ruled by Mercury, who may be, when I say who, I mean Mercury, of course, may be responsible for this Four of Swords with which we started. Yeah, actually, Mercury is in charge of travel too. So there could be delays. That may be what this is about, or upsetness or disappointment because of travel delays, or some other delay that's impacting you, that's affecting you. Maybe some information that you were awaiting, or trying to get. This could be you having meditated, and maybe just took you a while before you got the message because something blocking it, and it could be connected to Mercury. This is the light going off. Whether upright or in reverse, with regard to relationships, the Hermit is often about rekindling a relationship from the past. So maybe a break, or that you're like, let's take a break, or we've been on a break, or there've been separation because there was a fallout, whatever the case. And now this could be somebody realizing that they're over the break and they'd like to reunite with a partner from the past. Normally, I look to see if the second card is upright or in reverse as the card with which I started. And if it's the opposite, then I'll stop there. But let's just see what's behind this Hermit today. So, and this can be a card of disappointment. Something didn't turn out the way you wanted, the way you'd hoped, the way you'd expected. There is some sort of loss. It's like nominal or minimal maybe, because you still got something here. So let's say you got to take a break in terms of work. You know, they're switching you to 2 days a week instead of 3, or 2 days a week instead of 5. You know, so that could be like, oh man, like I need the hours. But then again, you got to recognize that you got something. Like a lot of people are out of a job, period, and you still got 2 days that you get to work. So it could be some kind of disappointment like that. Or again, it could be connected to a relationship, loss, disappointment. Man, I blew it, I think. I blew it with that long break. And now I realize maybe I messed up. Oh, yeah. Whatever it is, it's something in which you're emotionally invested, with the King of Cups upright being the next card. King of Cups, as a court card, may be directly connected to a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Again, could also be tied to Mercury. Mercury is indeed not only retrograde, but in the sign of Scorpio. We also just entered Scorpio season on the 23rd. That was the first day of the season of the sign of Scorpio. Also, again, I've mentioned to you guys before, arguably, it has been argued in court, the first day of creation. And we're about to experience, later in the month, we're about to experience the Taurus full moon, and then later in the month, in November, we'll actually experience the Scorpio new moon as well. So I'm not sure why I'm being made to mention that, but maybe, again, there's a new start that we can look forward to that goes along with this Ace of Swords. And then we end up with a reverse card again. So I'll stop there. Just do a little shuffling in front of you. Begin with the Six of Wands in reverse. Six of Wands, a card of success, victory. It's in reverse, so it could be something is delayed. Also, the Eight of Wands in reverse is about delayed messages. Things going on behind the scenes, but maybe they came to a halt for some reason. Something got like stuck and it's not moving right now. 2 cards just flew off. They are the Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Swords. This could be anxiety and worry, but something does turn around, and very possibly in your favor. It's usually in one's favor with the Wheel of Fortune. It's like a reversal of fortune. So if you were experiencing everything wonderful, then when the wheel turns, you may have a quiet period or a downturn even. But with the Nine of Swords upright, this person is experiencing current anxiety, again, anguish or something. And so when the wheel turns, that would lead to positivity for them. And it's very sudden. It comes very quickly. Wheel of Fortune most directly represents the planet Jupiter and the sign of Scorpio. No, wait. Yes, the sign of Scorpio as a fixed sign. But I was going to say the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules, as well as the fixed signs like Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo. All of these are in reverse so far. Seven of Pentacles in reverse, but that's actually pretty positive. That can mean somebody's like wait is over or nearing an end. Eight of Swords, like they're about to get moving on something. Let go of fear, move forward. And the Lovers, again, could be toward a relationship or something in which you are emotionally invested. Even if it's a job, you know, it could be like entering or approaching the job or career that you love, you know, of your dreams, or maybe leaving it behind. When this Lovers card is about a decision, it tends to be a heart versus head decision, is what I like to call it. Of course, represents the planet Mercury yet again, and the sign of Gemini, which Mercury rules most directly. This is what it represents. And it's also about like finding true love. And that could be about what the person was disappointed. Again, like they feel like they blew it. And this could further it. This could be like feeling left out in the cold. And this may actually be a scenario that is involving a Virgo and a Gemini. Of course, it could be anybody, but with the Pentacles, the Hermit, I'll do one more. There's the Ace of Swords. Isn't that something? But it's in reverse again. So Again, more delay, but just letting us know it's there. And when that break is over, when that rest is over, whatever that's about, then it'll be time. And it's an Ace of Pentacles. Again, maybe this is tied to a Virgo. It doesn't have to. Or tied to a job, you know, a new start. Could be tied again to a relationship. Letting go of fear, moving on to this. Letting go of whatever was holding us back and moving on to this. Maybe it'll take a little bit of time. Maybe it'll take until when Mercury retrograde is over, which I think is November 3rd. So that's next week. Maybe that's why I was made to go into November and the new moon in Scorpio, because that would be probably around like the second week of November. So the first week we have Mercury coming out of retrograde, and then I guess the energy easing up, and then maybe by the new moon in Scorpio, this, whatever, however the scenario applies to you, will have played out or begun to play out. All right, so now I will get the stands. There we go. And we will take the cards from the back in order. The first one will be the one most directly representing us, or our energy, over the course of this week. The second one will be surrounding energy, so close friends, family members, co-workers, something again happening at our job. The third will be specifically work and finance, and the fourth will be love and relationship. All right, so here's the first. Very nice. Six of Swords, upright, most directly representing us this week. So this can be about actual travel, movement, metaphoric and literal. And it is about moving on to positive, more positive energy, positive experiences. You see, like the water is calm there. We'll talk about it more in a second. So surrounding is that Four of Wands that we'd seen before in reverse. Work and finance. The Fool. Upright. Again, maybe leaving your job or going after a new one, new career. Those are possibilities. Lastly, love and relationship. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Maybe you being the one needing to be a little bit more generous in a relationship. And seeing that everything looks like it's in frame good, let's get started with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, our overall energy. And this is a card that could be saying that it's time for us to take some sort of leap, maybe with regard to work, career, to get out there or to do just like bigger and better things with our life in general. It doesn't have to necessarily be about work. It's like, you know, going out into the world and making your mark. We're guided with this card not to, you know, like second guess ourselves or try to avoid this calling to do whatever it is. Just do it. And that's very fool-like. So it could very well, between the fact that it's Pentacles and you have the Fool in work and finance, very well be about like starting a new business, you know, getting a promotion at your current job, finding a new job if you've been looking for one. It requires effort. So I was going to say coming into money, but no. It's like something has to be done on your part. You have to take some sort of leap of faith, as is indicated with the Fool. In terms of love and relationship, this is interesting, this card. It warns us of possible issues of like greed and jealousy in a current relationship, whether it's like actively current or even in the case of where there's been separation maybe, or some sort of on again, off again type of thing. I feel that it could be involved in that too. Don't like compare yourself and or your relationship to other people. First of all, especially if you're seeing them like social media and stuff, because people lie and they give like false impressions. I know people that, go on about their wife or their husband online, and they're not even really together, or they're, wanting to divorce and things like that. Like, people are not telling the truth all the time on social media. So you don't want to compare your relationship to theirs. What you rather do is focus on yours to fix it or end it, depending upon what you ultimately would like to do. If somebody is looking for love, it may be a sign that you need to do something. Like, you need to put some effort. You need to be more giving. You need to be more open. Sometimes we feel like we're open and, like ready, and we're drawing ourselves to things, or drawing things to ourselves, but we're not really. So you really got to be willing to, like, get out there. I'm looking at the Fool again. It's in the work and finance placement, but still, this is about taking a leap, getting out there, mixing, mingling, whether it's online or in real life, in person, however you have to do it, making yourself available. Also, in relationships that have been like a struggle, again, whether they're on again and off again, you've been on a break, you're not on a break, you're considering a break, or break up, or they're committed and otherwise doing well, but maybe right now, seemingly in a funky space or energy. Looking at these two cards together, especially the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it could be saying like you need to give more. You may be thinking that the other person should put the effort. Again, we feel like we're open, we feel like we're giving, and you aren't necessarily. So you have to be willing to put more effort and to do more as well. And in work, you may even need to consider asking for a promotion or a transfer or a raise or more responsibility or something like that, especially again in connection with the Fool. But on its own, the Ace of Pentacles sort of gives us that message as well. All right, so moving on to the Six of Swords. This is the card that says there's going to be like at least a slight reduction in stress and anxiety and aggravation. You can feel yourself moving into a more peaceful time. So it might not be abrupt. It might not be like yesterday I was completely anxious and today, I don't have a care in the world, but you can feel yourself moving into a better space, and you certainly are, managing better. You have better energy and surrounding you and stuff. You just feel like things are getting better, because they are. It's also a time to sort of get your head above water. If you've been feeling like you've been sinking, an opportunity is coming to you to heal that. Could be certainly financial, and that's going to help you out if you've been struggling in that sense. Could also just been feeling like below water in terms of you're not moving, you're sinking, you've been stuck in place and like even sinking. And this is a time it's saying the energy is going to be freeing up, so you can get out and get moving again in whatever aspect or area of your life it is you need to. And sometimes even a short break, to think about the Four of Swords again too, can be all you need. A change of scenery or something. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money or be a big deal. It doesn't have to be an actual vacation, but just sort of like getting away for a moment or a time, maybe doing something spontaneous, hanging out with friends or whatever. That could be all you need to do. In terms of love and relationship, same thing. It can mean like we need some sort of change of scenery together, whether that's literal, and it means, again, getting away and getting out and getting, changing it up, or just in our environment, doing things a little bit different, making some changes, doing something spontaneous to spend time together, to treat each other nice, to be generous with each other. If you're looking for love, it can tell you to get out of your like normal routines and again, switch it up, be spontaneous, do something different, go somewhere else to meet people, try something different, maybe go online, do online dating if you normally do regular, especially in consideration of the swords, because again, the swords rule, particularly Mercury, rule communication, but Aquarius is also a sign that's very much about not only communication, but like specific to technology. So that's where the online dating and things would come in. And for work, as I've mentioned a couple times already in this reading, You could be deciding like it's time to leave a job that just doesn't work for you anymore and to do something different. Or maybe it does still work, and that's why again your heart's in it. You're intimately attached to this job, but you know it's time for you to go, and you need to jump out and do something different. Same can be true about a relationship too, of course. Like we can feel sort of comfortable in a relationship, feel bad about hurting the person, and what it might mean to other people who are around us, who are sort of invested in our relationship and stuff too. But at the same time, you have to go. You're like, that it's over. Oh, like that Usher song, "Let It Burn." He says specifically that that it's over. I don't remember the line that comes before that, but it's something like you just have to let it go. So that can be in terms of your job, or again a career path. Maybe you want to completely switch it up to a new one or something like that. If you need help at work for some reason, like you're just feeling stuck there, it guides you to seek that help. Like don't hesitate to ask for some sort of assistance, especially if you're in a new job or career, or again maybe you're a new business owner, so you're just sort of getting your feet planted where you are, getting used to things, and you don't know everything yet, so you may need some help, and it's okay to ask. It can also point to, like, again, a literal change in scenery. You're doing business or working in a completely new place, but whatever it is, it's good. So moving on to our surrounding energy. This could be happening to us, it could be some of our energy too, and or again those close to us, surrounding us, close friends, family members, co-workers, things of that nature. It says that things are probably going well in the workplace, but continued effort is needed. And again, especially in connection with the Ace of Pentacles, that's very much the message if it has to do with work or co-workers. So you may be complimented. You got to learn how to accept compliments a little bit better, with grace and gratitude. So a balance between humility. You don't want to be like too soft and like groveling in thanks, but you want to make sure you're not like arrogant either when somebody's paying you a compliment and trying to give you credit or share credit with you. And you also have to remember to share credit with others when that's appropriate, especially in looking at the Six of Pentacles. I know that this is love and relationship placement, but I still tend to look at all the cards that are sitting there. But we can go ahead and move on to love maybe with regard to this card. And it can be about becoming much more committed or newly committed, but it's like everything from, okay, we're dating now, to getting married, engaged, married, all of that with the Four of Wands. And you may have an event to go to that maybe is somebody else's wedding or some other sort of event, a birthday party, a holiday party, I don't know, Halloween. Well, that's yeah. This reading goes through Halloween, so maybe something like that. And if you should go. You should go, and you have a good chance maybe of meeting somebody else that's single at this event. So definitely make a point to go. It could be like the love of your life, especially in consideration of the fact that the lovers also showed up here earlier in the reading. Other than that, in a more general sense, it's about good things of some nature headed our way, but a reminder that we, still need to put in, effort as well in order to help them along. Moving on to work and finance, as I believe I mentioned already, as I was placing the cards, the Fool can definitely be about a new position or a new business, something within your existing job, or a promotion, transfer. It could definitely mean that this is the right time. So especially if you've been thinking about starting your own business, to just go off on your own and do that. And it can be scary to think of and to actually make happen, but just as the Ace of Pentacles also suggests, it's kind of like a just do it sort of thing. Like Nike, particularly for those who've been considering it, like, at least give it further, very serious consideration, because this could really be your time. Again, in consideration, particularly of both cards together. Also, you may be like really unique in your ideas and proposals. And this is like an Aquarius energy that's sort of coming in. Like other people just might not get it for some reason. But if you know that you're right, there's guidance for you to like press hard for this thing, for this position, and to try to help other people to understand where you're coming from. And maybe there's a problem with the communication, again, because of Mercury retrograde, perhaps. But try to make it clear exactly what it is you're showing them and how they can benefit from this proposal or this idea of yours, um, rather than the way things were going to be done. Also, well, of course, you got to make sure that you're right. In that instance, you got to make sure you're right, not just being stubborn like I want to do it my way. If you really genuinely feel that you're correct, then it's a good way to go. Finance. It's a positive card, and it's about some sort of money or finance at material or monetary abundance coming to you. Some sort of increase in money is very, very likely with this card. But in consideration of the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, our overall energy, again, it may require, could be some sort of money that comes to you with some sort of effort on your part, but it doesn't have to be. Like, but whether it's an inheritance, or it's not money itself, but it's a new job or a company, a loan to start, your own gig or whatever it is, promotion. It's some sort of windfall. And again, which is even more promising because we have the Ace of Pentacles here. So don't just sit back and do nothing. Continue working, putting your effort, your energy toward bettering, your situation, and you can expect to do even better than maybe you had planned because something else comes in for you. It's sort of like when you open up the flow and the energy around yourself, like the universe cooperates with you. And lastly, love and relationship. Again, this card lets us know, reminds us that, being independent can be super positive. I certainly consider myself to be an independent person, but I also understand and know, like, when I'm in a relationship, I have to be interdependent. It's not healthy to be overly independent in a relationship or to be codependent. The balance, the healthy balance in the middle is interdependence. And speaking of the healthy balance, you may see the scales of balance there on the card. This card most directly for me represents the planet Venus and tends to tie all of her energies in together for me. So the Taurus, so you see this guy here with the Pentacles, and of course the Pentacles up there. The Libra is there, and maybe not so much in this card, but in other cards I can see the Gemini too. So, as I mentioned, rather than expecting maybe more to be given to us, and like this person should continue to try harder and try harder or try harder to make things easier for us, there has to be balance too, and we got to like maybe meet somebody halfway. There has to, the sixes in general are about equity and equality, right? So that's the balance between two things. So, we may have to move a little toward them. Again, be more open, try giving more, try being more understanding, actually listening to the person, not just presuming you are right in all situations. And, apply some fairness, equity, justice. If you are single and looking, that could be what you need to do still. Like, I got to try something a little bit different. I got to be more open. And you'll find it. This week, I think I'm going to clarify these with the angel and animal tarots, only because I'd shuffled those like sort of subconsciously, and then I was like, oh wait, I didn't want to use these. I was going to use something else. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use them. And beginning with the King of Pentacles. So we just had an overall energy of the Ace of Pentacles. Now here's the King. So this, again, situation could be specifically involving a King of Pentacles. I believe I mentioned Virgo before, but also Taurus, Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Someone who's all about like stability and work, like really positive work ethic and putting effort towards something, and maybe providing, just making you feel secure. And they are secure themselves as an individual. I'm talking about financially, not necessarily. They could have an emotional problem just like anybody else. But yeah, other than that, they are generous, professional, responsible, and practical. Those are good words. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. So this could be us too this week, and it would go along with the other cards that we've seen as far. Behind that, we have Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot, which most directly represents the sign of Cancer. But it is another card of victory, movement, travel, maybe even. So these could be some things that some of us are experiencing. It could be movement in a metaphoric sense in your finances, or again, moving, change of scenery in your work or career, change of plans. You can successfully balance, there's that word balance again, various or opposing energies at once through determination and focus. So that's talking about the effort, again, that you got to put in. You've earned the rewards and recognitions that you are receiving. So this is because you put some sort of effort in while you're getting it. It's not something that's falling out of the sky for you. And the next card is also super positive, Major Arcana card 19. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments that you so richly deserve. The Sun, Major Arcana card number 19, most directly represents the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules. It can definitely be tied also to health for me in a large way, often involving things like, having to do with rays. So like, if something requiring an X-ray or a CAT scan, or radiation, laser, chemotherapy, having a fever. So it might be tied to that initial card in the beginning, the Four of Swords, when I said someone may be unwell, maybe they had the flu, God forbid, COVID, but it's a recovery, right? This is something positive. And that person, again, may specifically be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. So maybe like somebody's father, husband, the provider, that type. Boss. I'm going to mix these in here. Just put them in arbitrarily. And I move the other cards out of the way so that I'd have room to sort of mix these up a bit. And I'm just going to put them back in no particular order. I'm going to go on the top, the bottom, in the middle, like just completely arbitrarily. All right. And we're going to see with what we end up. And it's another Nine of Swords. Expecting the worst. Self-fulfilling prophecies. Sleepless nights. That's the only card. So that's our overall energy. There's somebody having anxiety, which we saw earlier in this deck. Somebody nervous, again, maybe to take a leap of faith, or to enter a commitment, or to move. Are we back in frame? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing again. Card most directly representing us this time is Chariot. Both of these cards, again, are about travel, movement, going forward. Further to that, the Chariot is about victory. So really, really positive energy in this area, representing all of us this week in terms of movement, whether it's metaphoric for you or literal. Surrounding, atop the Four of Wands in reverse, is the Nine of Wands. You're working hard, or you've worked hard, and what you've created is impressive and worthy of protecting. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry, you'll get through them just as you have in the past. So this is like a sudden boost. You see the gazelle, it's like one of the fastest animals on the planet. You may have been feeling sort of worn out, down and out, like I can't keep pushing toward this thing, working toward this thing. Again, whether it is a job or a relationship or whatever, And this is saying, yes, you can, and giving you that extra boost to survive. You may just have a lot of stuff on your plate too. You're super, super busy. And this is saying, don't worry, you'll be able to handle all these things that are coming your way with this energy. Work and finance. Atop the Fool. 5 of Fire. Competing goals. Bothersome details. Conflict with others. So the 5 of Wands, with regard to work, tends to be about competition. So again, you could be competing for some sort of bid, for some sort of contract, if it's your own business. Or even within a work structure, within a in a company structure where you work for someone else. Maybe you are competing for your bid, your proposal to be the one that's selected. Maybe it has to do with that little story I told, that if you really feel that you're right about your proposal, your idea, fight for it. Okay, this is substantiating that. This is further reconfirming that. Also, that could be like more than one person that's interested in a particular position, and so there will be some sort of competition there. But again, we have cards that speak of success here, so don't let that scare you. Okay, don't let that scare you. Our 9 of Swords is atop a 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups is about like the possibility of missing out on an opportunity, but we see it's in reverse. So this is like not being willing to miss out on an opportunity. This is getting off your butt to do what you have to do to make your dreams come true, even if it is scary. All right, lastly, love and relationship. Atop the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, we have Awakening, Major Arcana card 12, which is the Hangman. Look at things from a different perspective. Right? And that's what I talked about here. Change of scenery in your love life. Different perspective. Maybe I need to give more. Maybe they need to give more. Maybe, maybe I need to try looking from this, meeting people in this area, as opposed to that area. Major Arcana card 12, the Hangman, most directly represents the planet Neptune and the sign of Pisces, which it rules. But it also speaks very specifically about letting go. And this doesn't have to mean letting go of a relationship, although it can. It can be also letting go of your expectations of how you wanted a relationship to be, or how you expected the type of person you expected specifically to meet. Like you painted yourself in too small a box, too tight a box. And so you need to let go of some of those things. Like a vision of a particular kind of relationship, or a relationship with a very specific person, closing yourself off from the possibility of meeting other people as if this is the only way you can be happy, and that's not true. If you're already in a long-term relationship, there can be some sort of crossroad that we're at, which would make sense with the cards with which we began. I talked about somebody maybe needing a break, maybe needing to get away, or somebody maybe regretting a break that they've already taken and wanting to make a return. So this is about letting go of maybe your pride and saying, okay, I'm going to go back, or my fear. He may hate me, she may hate me, but I'm going to go back and see. I'm going to go back and see if I can make this work, if it's not too late. In any of the cases, there's no need to sort of freak out, is what the cards are saying. Like, just take some time to think about it and figure out what would help you to achieve like this place of balance and equity, the happy medium. And isn't 6 the happy medium of 12? So I think that's interesting there too, that the 6 is being clarified by Major Arcana card 12. We each have a 6, right? We each have love. That's another meaning of the word, of the number 6. And, we can bring them together. We can meet each other in the middle. I shouldn't have to go any further, than you, and you shouldn't have to come any further than me over. And we've very possibly been getting like clues, maybe, signs, synchronicities, guiding us to do feelings in our stomach and our gut inclinations, and we just don't ignore them. You know, pay attention to those. Maybe also dreams. As a matter of fact, this is like the month, the time of year when, you know, the veil, as they call it, is the thinnest between our plane of existence and the spirit world. And a lot of messages tend to come in during the month of October, sometimes into November as well. And the hangman, again, represents the planet Neptune in Pisces. That's sort of that dreamy planet, you know, and I think that awake, perhaps through some sort of vision, you know, so like a dream while you're awake, or even in your sleep, you could be getting these messages and things. So let's see what else comes up in terms of advice. And then I will go on to what's going on in the week in terms of the planetary calendar and the theological calendars for those who want to watch that part. For those who came for the cards only, here you go. For the masculine, your further advice in all of this is the Seven of Swords. So this is a card of like not missing an opportunity too, because of fear, because of low self-esteem or lack of confidence in yourself. You don't take a risk. It's a card of risk. It can be in relationships too, a card of like the representative of like trust issues. And that doesn't mean that something has actually gone on in the relationship where there should be trust issues. It can just be one person, again, maybe lacks esteem, maybe lacks confidence, and therefore they have emotional issues that are causing a problem between the whole relationship. Like sometimes there's just somebody who's just paranoid and has nothing to do with you. That's for them to heal, you know, because you've done nothing wrong. But it can also be a card of, again, somebody returning to your life, perhaps. And also loss or theft of something. But based on the other cards that we've seen, I think if anything, it would be this time a recovery. If something had been lost, coming back, you finding it now. Something had been stolen from you, it's coming back or being replaced, like in kind, like, you know, I don't know, you're walking down the block, you drop $100, right? Oh man, I lost it. I needed that money. And then you get something of equal or greater value. You know, so you don't have the $100 anymore, but it was like recompense to you somehow. Could be like about that. Caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources such as time or peace of mind. Like if you're not going to be at peace because you didn't go for a new job, or you didn't start your own business, because you didn't enter a relationship or leave a relationship that was toxic or over or whatever, that's going to cost you your peace of mind. And is it worth it? That's what the thinking is about, that you got to do. Be aware of the results of your actions as well as what others might be doing behind your back. And as I've always mentioned, when you see like one of these is usually not far behind. Like, you know, the Seven of Swords comes with the Nine of Swords, the Three of Swords, Five of Swords. And in the beginning, when we're starting with the Four of Swords, remember, I was focused on the Three of Swords. So I think it's very possibly tied into that for some of you masculine as well. Tied to, again, maybe a break, a hurt, an illness, a surgery, a breakup, something like that. Feminine, the Six of Cups, the love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. It doesn't have to be from your childhood, just from your past and or past life coming back to you. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams, or dreams, period, in connection with the hangman maybe, are ready to be revived and like brought to life. And from the Angel Tarot to the masculine, boom, it's another major arcana card, 19, the Sun. So this is the card actually that I had in mind when I said this is this is not about the loss or theft this time. No, if anything, it's about something coming back to you, because we had seen a sun card already, and that is a card about things improving, getting better. Happy outcome. Brilliant new ideas that lead to success if you have confidence in yourself. This is a card of lacking confidence. If you get the confidence, you cease to be afraid to take a risk. Happy outcome. All right. Again, Major Arcana card 19. The sun most directly represents the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules. And lastly, for the feminine, it's the King of Wands. He is motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Also, maybe take advice from someone creative. The King of Fire most directly is a Sagittarius, but also possibly an Aries or Leo or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And of course, especially in consideration of maybe getting back together with somebody, and this being the feminine's side, the feminine's card, the King of Wands is the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot. So, true love. All right, I thank you guys for coming through. Again, I'm going to go on to what's going on this week. So please do, if you only wanted to see the cards, I appreciate you coming by and watching the cards. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that. And for the rest of you, stick around 1 second. Let me quickly turn my laptop on. I'll log in. And we're going to start with the Christian calendar. So this reading goes from the 25th through the 31st. And on the 28th, we have the feast day of Saints Simon and Jude, apostles, both of which apostles, celebrated on the same day. And for information about that, I've gone to this webpage, saintsresource.com. I don't think I've ever been on this page before, but it popped up and I said, let's give this one a go. Thaddeus, Simon apostles. And Jude, feast day, October 28th. On the Roman calendar, for Coptic, it's May 10th. And let's get into it. Both Simon and Jude were ordinary men who were chosen by Jesus himself to teach others about God's love and to make disciples of all nations. Matthew 28:19. Their lives help us to understand that even the most average people can become saints when they decide to follow Jesus. Both of these men were known by other names during their lives. Simon was also called the Zealot. A zealot is a person who's strongly committed to something. In Simon's case, he firmly believed in the importance of people following Jewish law. Once he met Jesus, his life was changed, and he became convinced that the most important thing was to follow Jesus and his teachings. I think for us, we can consider it in general that the most important thing is to follow the calling, whatever it is, right? That inner calling guiding you to go somewhere. Take the leap of faith, take a chance, take a risk. Jude, the most important thing was to follow Jesus and his teachings. We believe that another reason Simon had a nickname was to keep people from confusing him with the other apostle named Simon, the one Jesus called Peter. Jude was also known as Jude Thaddeus. People used this formal title so that he was not confused with Judas, the apostle who betrayed Jesus and handed him over to be arrested. Jude is the patron saint of hopeless cases and desperate situations. People often pray to Jude when they feel that there is no one else to turn to. They ask Jude to bring their problem to Jesus because Jude has such great faith. We know that nothing is impossible for those who believe in the Lord. And so we can also, again, apply that to ourselves, whether we believe in the Lord, that Jesus is Lord, or none of it, believing that when we hand these things off again to the universe, put them out there, because we know that works. The law of attraction, all that kind of, and positive thought, focused intention on these things, then again, nothing is impossible. Simon and Jude traveled together to teach others about Jesus. Because of their eyewitness accounts of Jesus, miracles, and his death and resurrection, many people became believers and were baptized. Simon and Jude died for their faith on the same day in Beirut. Jude's body was later returned to Rome, where it was buried in a crypt under St. Peter's Basilica. We honor the feast day on October 28th. These two saints remind us to learn all we can about Jesus and or ourselves, I would add, and to share it with others as they did. It does not say of what they are the patron saints on this page, and I do not recall. And that's it on the Christian calendar. There's nothing on the Hebrew or Islamic calendar, so I'm going to go straight to the planetary calendar now. And only one event during this period that I'm really going to go into. But we start with on October 27th at 9:33 p.m., Mercury retrograde enters Libra. Also on October 27th, 9:41 p.m., so just minutes later, Venus enters Libra. 0 degrees. So both Mercury and Venus will be in Libra at the same time, just minutes apart from each other as of October 27th. So Mercury, again, currently located in Scorpio, retrograde, still will be retrograde, but moving into Libra before going back into Scorpio sometime later. On October 29th at 5 p.m., Jupiter will be quincux the true node, which is Gemini. Again, so more Mercury. Gemini ruled by Mercury. And lastly, on October 31st at 10:49 a.m., the full moon in Taurus, 8 degrees Taurus. That is also a blue moon, because it happens only once in a blue moon that we experience 2 full moons during the same month. Lastly, for what it means for Venus to be moving into Libra, I've gone to www.tarot.com. Venus in Libra, cooperative, loving, balanced. This is exactly what we have here. Again, I just said we had this card in the placement of love and relationship that for me represents the planet Venus and the scales of balance right there pictured in the card. Venus and Libra were made for each other. In fact, Venus rules 2 zodiac signs. One of them is Taurus and the other is, of course, Libra. Venus is also the esoteric ruler of the sign of Gemini. I don't know why they left that out, but we can look it up if you don't believe me. But while Taurus brings out the money-oriented side of Venus, Venus in Libra is all about love. The combination of Venus and Libra is naturally harmonious because Libra is the most balanced zodiac sign. Adding Venus's cooperative energy here puts a premium on fairness, happiness, and serenity. Libra, remember peace of mind? Don't risk your peace of mind. Libra lends an airy vibe to Venus's already sweet and calm nature, encouraging us to all strive for greater peace in our lives alone and with others. Again, peace. Don't risk your peace of mind. Be confident enough to take a risk toward what it is you want or are guided to do. Love is absolutely in the air once Venus enters balanced and beautiful sign of Libra. Venus is the planet that rules love, and Libra is the zodiac sign associated with one-on-one relationships. When Venus enters Libra, we're gifted with a sweet time of peace that highlights our partnerships and social life. While Venus is in Libra, relationships are light and lovely rather than hot and heavy. Libra is a peacemaker, and we'd rather not rock the boat now in order to maintain the harmony in our relationships. In fact, we're especially polite and charming while Venus is in Libra. Remember, I talked about also maybe taking a step back and realizing, oops, okay, this is what's going on with my energy. Let me try to be a little bit more fair and, think before I speak and all that kind of stuff with your relations. You're also more likely to sweep issues under the rug. Well, that's not necessarily good. Those who typically find themselves in an argumentative relationship can benefit from a break So maybe that's what the Four of Swords means for some of us. A break in the drama during Venus's transit through Libra. After all, brash or rude behavior is a big turnoff now. Love is above all else a two-way street. During Venus in Libra, it's a time when we are reminded that the best relationships aren't 50-50, they're 100-100. Like what I pointed out here. We each have a 6. We each have our own 6. So we make 12. Or we each have our own 50. So we make 100. Because Libra is so concerned with fairness and equality, imbalanced relationships will stick out like a sore thumb during this transit. So maybe I need to give more, or maybe I need to require that the other person gives more to me. Does one of you have a stronger feelings than the other? Is one of you putting more work into the partnership than the other? If so, it'll become very noticeable while Venus is in Libra. Thankfully, this transit also blesses us with the cooperation and grace to work together, to make positive changes, and to start anew. Though both Venus and Libra are strongly connected to our love lives, this planet and sign are also very interested in beauty and style. While Venus is in Libra, we'll want to surround ourselves with things that make us feel breezy, beautiful, and at ease. Again, it's about peace of mind. Spending a little on an updated look or on fresh decor for your home can bring us a renewed sense of pleasure and confidence now. Venus in Libra is a time to love with your whole heart, cooperate with others, strive for peace, and live lightly, and you can make the most of this beautiful transit. I love when the cards that we do, especially when you guys see me shuffle, you see me cutting the 10,000 piles and stuff, and it just correlates with what I go on to read. So you know that the cards genuinely popped out as they were meant to, right? Because it matches up totally. This thing goes on to talk about if you were born with Venus in Libra, what it means for you. So again, if you're interested in that, I got the information from www.tarot.com. Otherwise, thank you again for watching, for joining me. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment. And if you are not a subscriber and you're going to be subscribing, please do hit both the subscribe button and the bell button so that you'll hopefully get your notifications. I have a lot of issues with my channel, one of which is that my subscribers often don't receive their notifications. I appreciate it. Namaste.